Hello, everyone out there. My name is Coach Llaneika, and I am doing an interview with Danita, who recently passed her NCE exam. I had the pleasure of being her coach, and it was a beautiful journey, and even more beautiful now that we have her results and that she's passed. So I'll turn it over to her for introduction.
Thank you, Coach. Llaneika. So, yes, my name is Danita, and I am a school counselor, and I have been doing that for 9 years. So, I just wanted to get my LPC or the licensed mental health licensure. So, I was like, I need to pass this test. Backstory, I failed it in 2020 and 2022. And then I said, nope, this time I'm going to be serious and get me a tutor. So I joined the academic coaching for World Changers, and Dr. Pam and Coach Llaneika were my coaches. So yes.
That's super exciting. So, tell us a little bit about your journey to passing.
Yes, okay. So I took the test, like I said, in 2020 and 2022. In 2020, I didn't study at all. So I was like, oh wow, it's gonna be just another test that I could take and I'll pass. And I missed it by 1 point. And then I took it again in 2022 and I studied just a little bit and I was using just the purple book for both times that I took the test, and I failed it again in that time by 4 points. So this time I was like, I don't, should I take it? Should I not? Like, but it was something in me that just kept wanting to keep going. And my village was like, nope, just try one more time or just try again. But it was one more time for me. And so I took it or started studying in 2023 on my own. And I just was not getting the content. And I kept hearing people say, try this lady, Dr. Pam, try academic coaching for World Changers. And I said, okay, well, if they have a success rate, I'm gonna try it. At this point, I needed something. So fast forward to 2025, I got the coach, and I was with Dr. Pam for the 15-week course, and I was running out of time to get like some of the content areas. And that's when I was introduced to Coach Llaneika. And from there, it's like I got the information like fast. Like I don't know what snapped, but it was literally just everything started making sense with the team. Like what I learned in 2020 and 2022, it was just like me reading it and I'm just trying to like memorize, but I actually was able to apply it. And when I was sitting at the test, like there were times where I didn't know, but I used my test taking strategies that I was taught. I used, just all the things that I learned from Dr. Pam and Coach Llaneika on that test, and it got me through. It was great. And I did want to give up, but I'm glad I did it.
I know. And, that's how I can always tell when our clients get closer and closer to being ready. It's like they have this, like, it's like a catharsis moment where they
Yes.
kind of break down. They cry, or they have to let it all out and go through all the doubt and all of the hopelessness feelings. And then they wash their face, they get back up, they jump back in and study, and they pass. So I'm so glad that you were able to make it through and not give up. That's most important, because it does get hard. It does feel like it's taken forever to learn this material, but you didn't give up. You went another route outside of the 15 weeks, and that's what really did it. And so I'm super excited. So talk to us about the biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome.
I think the biggest hurdle was learning my old study skills. So I thought that I was just the best test taker in the world because I have not failed in a long time. So I'm talking about like grad school straight A's, like undergrad, I had my mishaps, but like I just hadn't failed. It had become foreign to me. And I was like, so when I failed the NCE, one of the things that I had to learn was that one, I learned a lot about myself through this whole process, like positive self-talk, like I needed to work on, and being confident in who I am as a counselor and even just as a person, like that, I can do hard things. But the biggest thing or the biggest hurdle was learning how to change what I thought I knew and then changing, to learn in a different way. So I didn't know I was an audio learner. Like, I thought I was always visual, highlighters and pens and all that writing down. And I'm like, Dr. Pam and, Coach Llaneika's like, try this. So I did. And I'm like, wow, I 100% retained everything that was being, given. So I think that was the biggest hurdle, is getting out of my own way. And then also just being able to change how I thought I learned to a new way.
That's awesome. Yeah, Dr. Pam always says that the smart kids are the ones that are in tutoring. Like when we're studying and helping them prep for this exam, is always the smart kids, always the ones who made straight A's and AP classes. And it's just this test where we kind of have to reshift and change the way that we've been studying, because it's a whole different type of test. It's not like what we did in our undergrad or even in our graduates. Like it's nothing like it, nothing comparable to it. So yeah, we did have to kind of change some things up. So what advice would you go back and give yourself when you first started to prepare?
I should have went with you guys first. That's the advice I would have gave myself. But other than that, I probably would have just been confident in, like I said, who I was. So I let that test define me. And this time around, it was different. So I even like to the day before, like I was worried. I'm like, when we had our last session right before the test, and I said, I'm nervous. I don't know, like, and just skeptic. And it was just like, well, look, no matter what comes, if I pass, I pass. If I don't, I know what I have to do to get there. So I felt more confident this time around that even if it wasn't a pass, that I knew how to get to the right question. I knew more than I knew the last time that I took the test. So my biggest advice would be, trusting yourself and believing in yourself. And then also, get you guys first. That's my advice to others too, to get academic coaching world team.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, because we can get in there and really pinpoint the things that you might not see while you're in the thick of it trying to study and understanding, why am I not retaining this information? But something as simple as, when we are with our clients one-on-one and we see, okay, maybe this is just a test taking strategy issue that you have, you're probably speeding too fast through the questions. You're not really focused on what is the question truly asking you. Those skills, like narrowing it down to, the best two answers and going back and reading that question. So like it's really, we can do a real good overall assessment when we are with you guys one-on-one. So that's some good information right there. So I know you mentioned the Purple Book, you mentioned the Hell Wig and things like that. What would you say you found the most helpful in your test prep?
The most helpful, I would probably say, so I did use the Purple Book. The Purple Book was helpful with going back and making sure that I understood what I was doing. But I think the most helpful was those videos, and then just remembering, like, what you were telling me, like, especially with the bell curve. Like, I would have never thought I could get that. Like, write it down, do a couple practice things, but it was literally the audios, like listening to, our videos over and over, Dr. Pam, and just making sure that I knew what it was. But like literally 3 hours a day, have those videos playing in the car, wherever you're at. And like, she's like, like y'all say, they'll get sick of it. People around us will get sick of it, but I knew it. Like, I could tell you all about Carl Rogers anytime now. So, and now I'm, like I say, engraved in my head. I miss studying almost. So.
Right now that you're like, what now? What do I do with all of this free time?
Right. Like, my purpose is like, wait, now what am I doing? But yeah.
Yeah, very nice. So walk us through test day.
Okay, so test was like, so I got there, I had a good breakfast. I couldn't sleep, so I was up early. When I got to the testing center, it was freezing, so I brought my jacket. Glad I did. So I sat down. I wrote down, when I started the test, I wrote down all the things that I knew that I needed to write down. So that bell curve was instant. I wrote that down. The T-score, Z-score, and then I also wrote down the stay 9 or something like that score too, just to know, just in case I had any questions. And I wrote down like different things that I probably wouldn't remember, like Super's developmental stages, like the GEMD, or different things that I just knew would probably be on there that I just wouldn't remember off the top of my head. So then every question that I had, like, we had a little graph paper, and I was really taking too much time on questions, but I was like, listen, I'm gonna pass this thing today. And I wrote down my Bible verse, and I said, this is what I'm already here for. I'm prepared for it. And I wrote down Danita Roy, LPC. So I was like, I'm just here doing the formalities. Like, I'm taking the test, but I already passed it. So then when I was going through each question, like, I had A, B, C, D written down on the paper, and I would just go and cross it out, like process of elimination, just to make sure I knew which answer was not what I needed to choose from. And then I went back to the question. So I did that for, the whole test. I took my little 15-minute break. I went outside, I recharged, I prayed. I was like, I got this, you're okay. And I felt really good about it. And then, I had a lot of questions left in like 45 minutes, and I started like zooming through, and I know that's bad, but I was looking for like those key words, and it helped. Because I remember our last time we studied, he was like, slow down, look at the question. So I did just that and got the key things out of the question. And then I had time to go back and also review. And I also didn't change my answers this time around. So I made sure I didn't do that. I said, what I picked the first time, I'm leaving it at that, unless I had proof in the question that I needed to change it. So, and then after that, like once the scores printed out, I was done. I was so scared to submit. I had like 4 minutes left, and I submitted, and I went out there, and the guy was like, oh, well, your fingerprint is messed up or something like that. And I'm like, oh, this is crazy. It's taking forever to print. And he just passed it to me, and I had to look instantly. And I looked, and I almost fell to the ground. It was crazy, but it was amazing.
Oh my gosh, I can just feel it for you, man. Just the initial shock.
Yes, it was. So I was shocked. I was like, wow. Like I knew it was mine, but I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. Like it was great. A great feeling.
A couple of things that you said that resonated with me was one, you mentioned a couple of times about your mindset, about like saying, okay, it is what it is, basically, and like I got this, I'm gonna pass, like basically claiming it, like saying, okay, I know this, I got this. It's so crazy because a lot of times we don't realize how much our mindset can affect us either positively or negatively. Like research has shown that our confidence and our beliefs, our ability to believe in ourselves, that self-efficacy, like that can take us so much further. Even, yes, we know the material, but that confidence piece can either make us or break us. So I'm so thankful that you really focus on that positive mindset, writing down that Bible scripture and that positive self-talk. When you took your break, you went and you prayed, you did whatever you needed to do to get regrounded and go back in there and take that exam. Like that honestly is what helped people push through and what helps them pass. Is such an important key, if not more important than knowing the content, definitely equally as important.
True. It's not our last session, I'll never forget what you told me. Like you said, this, like, you just got to slow down, like, and be confident in yourself. And that really like took me through, because I was like, I kept doubting, like, oh, is this it? Is this it? But I'm like you said, like it takes you believing in yourself, like, you know what I mean, to make that change. So that was huge. And I appreciate you guys for doing that, because my confidence was boosted after having you and that one-on-one.
That makes my heart so happy. Another thing that you said that I've never heard from any other client is you writing down the ABCD method and scratching it out on your board. That is genius, because a lot of us, yes, we learn through this process that we are auditory learners, but for majority of us, we do have to have that tangible something, write it down. And I will use that as a tip to clients that tell me, oh, I'm so used to scratching it out, or I need to highlight or whatever. So I am, thanks to you, like I love these interviews because you get so much more knowledge and insight on how to help other people. So I will suggest that to other clients that are struggling with the inability to strike out on a digital online test.
Yep, and that helped a ton on the test. I was like, wait, nope, that's not it. That's not it. Here's my 2 choices. So it helped.
Very nice. So tell us, what are your plans for the future now that you've passed?
Oh my gosh. Well, I got sleep back. Like I feel like I'm taking my naps, and I do not have to do it on a timer. So, but I'm also going to pursue. So I'm in North Carolina and South Carolina. So I'm going to pursue my LPC, but in North Carolina they call it the Licensed Clinical Mental Health Counselor or something. I don't know, it's big, but LPC. So I'm in the process now of applying and then getting those 3,000 hours. That's a little bit of a headache too. So I'm over the big hurdle, but I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go, another hurdle. But if I know I could do that, I could do this. So just applying, and I'll still be working as a school counselor, and then trying to incorporate the LPC like part-time or in the evening. And then that's about it.
Very good. Okay, your story resonates with me because I see myself, and this is the process that I went through because I am too a school counselor, and that I just want to tell you, just slow and steady wins the race. I'm getting all my hours. It's a lot. 3,000 hours is like it seems unheard of, but we do it already in the schools.
Right.
So luckily, depending on the state that you're in, like I'm in Texas, and they allow you to count those hours towards your LPCA associate. So yeah, so get you a supervisor, and they'll be able to tell you exactly the steps you need to do in order to count those hours. So I actually am very fortunate that I am doing both. I am a licensed school counselor as well as a LPC associate. So I'm like double dipping, which is a huge blessing.
Yes. And that's encouraging. I was like, wait, I don't know how people do this. Okay, so it's doable.
It is absolutely doable. The hardest part was this test, and you've done it. So now everything else is going to take some work, and it's going to take some time. But the work going forward is not nearly as hard as studying for this exam. That'll give you a little bit of a peace of mind.
Yes.
So to wrap this thing up, is there anything like we just want to help other people? I want to grow as a coach. So whether it was an individual or in group or in your prep course, is there anything that we did not cover in your studying that would have helped you on the test?
Honestly, no, there's not one thing. Like I was trying to think of something, but literally everything and more you guys told me would be on the test. So I feel like I was more than prepared. And even if I didn't know, you guys taught me how to know, like while I was using the questions. So there was one thing like elderly speaks, and I was telling Dr. Pam that, and she said like, she thinks that's probably like a field question because like she keeps like seeing stuff like that. But other than that, there was like nothing. Everything you guys taught, like it was on there. Every single, there wasn't nothing I was like, what is this? Nothing.
Okay, very good. Man, again, I just want to thank you so much for taking this time to demonstrate altruism by giving back to those that are in the same situation or similar situation that just need that installation of hope, because you've done it, I've done it, other people are walking in the same path. So thank you so much for your time today and helping, being an encouragement to others. And I wish all good things come your way. And if you need anything, keep in touch. I can be a reference, however, whatever you need, just keep in touch and let us know.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate you. Keep up the good work. You are amazing. Like everything about you, your personality, you're an amazing coach. So I appreciate you too.
Thank you so much. Take care, Danita.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.